you go, Crossen versus Tilley. Crossen fighting out of the red corner, Tilley fighting out of the blue corner. 45 versus 36. Sean Spatz gets him to the middle of the ring, and here we go. We'll kick this event off. Boom, there we go. Right out to the middle on top of the Domino's logo. Couple of big boys here, 185, and I say that, and how much do you weigh there, Luke?
I'm about 260.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You don't look 260, buddy. You carry that well.
Oh, I feel 260.
You ever get the urge to get in here and start fighting?
No, because I train with people like Rafael Garcia.
Right away on his back, Dennis Crossen still trying to get that rear naked choke. Tilley on the top, but I'm not sure he's in control, and it's reversed.
Actually, I was going to say, up until this moment, Tilley having good hips, but you see the feet crossed underneath of him. He's in that mount, sort of Rico Rodriguez, Yoshikosaka style, BJ Penn style maybe. That's a tough mount to get out of.
Crossen 5'8", Tilley 6 foot, and then we talked about the height difference earlier in this evening's event. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't ever seem to play into what we're looking at.
There we go. That's what I want to see. Whenever you see a mount, everyone just looks at the guy on top. Sorry to interrupt. I want to see a guy underneath. And it didn't work that last one, but he nearly sat up. You can't just turn. You got to get your hips at an angle. You have to create space. And you see how high this mount is that Crossen has here, Crossen.
And here's the thing. When these guys, we talk about older fighters, the only thing I feel when I get older, because I'm in the 40s, I just get smarter.
Look at this. He's getting to a hip. He's going to turn him here. Just like that. You see what I'm talking about? You can't just turn to your left, turn to your right.
He followed it out with a huge right.
You got to create some space. And he's banging at knees up the middle.
Look at that. Great job by Tilley in the blue corner. Crossen in trouble in the red gloves. And I see some blood coming, maybe from the bridge of the nose from Crossen.
And already, Crossen has a weird mouthpiece. He's got the mouthpiece that covers your upper and lower, but you can only breathe through the middle. Well, let me explain something to you. It's hard to breathe with a mouthpiece at all.
Period.
Much less with one like that.
Great takedown by Crossen, putting Tilley on his back. When Tilley went down, his head just banged right off the cage. Little goose egg there on Tilley above his right eye. I can't really tell if it's going to amount to anything, and can't tell if there's any blood coming from the face of Crossen here on top under control.
So let's see what kind of guard here that Tilley has. So far, he's just sort of content to lock up full guard. He's got the right arm protecting his face for the most part. That grinding hurts, but that's not going to stop the fight.
That grinding is definitely just irritating.
Yeah,
and it's the pressure on your jaw and your face and your eyes.
Now, that short elbow is a little bit worse, but generally speaking, pressure to your face is designed to get you to move. It's not going to stop you.
10 seconds left in this fight. Crossen in the red gloves, Tilley in the blue gloves. Coming up on the end of this one. Good right, Crossen. He feels it coming. Good rights and lefts.
Look here. There's no one controlling the posture. There's no. Look at him. He's just bent over at the waist, firing strikes. That's not. I mean, it's a bad place to be.
And that again will come with some experience, hopefully, for both of these guys. Even at 45 and 36, you're still learning. You're still learning here at 45 and 36.
The martial arts, you're never too old to learn.
Let's see what happens here as Crossen ends up on top. Boom, good kick.
Catches the kick and just basically just sort of lifts him, and the floor is slippery enough that he just goes under.
Absolutely.
Driving knees. Now he's not landing there very effectively, but he's at least driving forward.
Absolutely. And then you see Crossen with the takedown. Let's see if we can see the head bounce off. Oh, the head bounces off the ring that we were just talking about. That hurts you and that rings your bell. It dazes you.
It's definitely not. All things being equal, that's not what you want to happen.
And if you're Tilley right now, you're sitting there in your cage, what are they telling you? You know, you want to do something else today?
You want to pressure forward, but you want to pressure forward smartly. He got caught in that last takedown because he was just sort of blindly walking into him.
Right, little blood on the side of Tilley's left arm, which I think is coming somewhere from Crossen. I can't really tell. And I thought I saw some blood on him earlier.
I can't tell if Crossen is laboring to breathe because of the mouthpiece or because he's tired.
Here we go, round number 2. Both fighters meet right in the center of the ring.
Oh, you see that? Like, there's just no. Look, the taller fighter is Tilley. You saw no jab.
Right. None. And it looks like maybe the blood is coming from Tilley and somehow got away. Good knees.
I love this. Again, I'll keep saying it until I'm dead. Knees to the body of a grounded opponent is so underutilized in mixed martial arts.
Tilley is bleeding from somewhere, and I can't really tell exactly where it's coming from. Maybe the face or the nose, or maybe above the right eye. But I saw a goose egg earlier that may have opened up.
still. Tilley's pretty scrappy underneath. He does a decent job of, look at the left hand on the bicep there by Tilley. Trying to stop the crossface. I appreciate that. That's a good thing to do. It's not only a good way to stop ground and pound, it's a good way to stop being controlled for example, for a mount.
Right. Is that something that is taught in your gym?
Absolutely. Again, if the right arm were to go around the head of Tilley, it doesn't, and you do it correctly, it doesn't just stop your head and neck from moving, it actually stops your waist from moving. You can't effectively do it. It's called shoulder pressure, right there, like that. You don't want that. Now that's not usually want the elbow to the ground, the right elbow to the ground, but it's a horrible place to be. And if someone can do it good, they can actually break your jaw by leaning into it. And so that's how you stop, you pass to mount. You immobilize them. It's not magic. That's how you have to do it.
Crossen in the red gloves. Both fighters close to the center of the ring. Tilley still on the bottom. Still the knees going to the ribs of Tilley from Crossen. And some blood still coming from Tilley's face.
But I mentioned before, I'm a big guy, right? There are guys in the gym, if I can get enough shoulder pressure on it, they'll just give me the mount.
Right.
They'll just give you the pass because it relieves the pressure once you get there because you have achieved a more dominant position. That's how bad that can be. So you can see him trying to stop the crossface there. That's essential, but now you got to move your hips out. You can't just stop the crossface and be flat on your back.
And they're just kind of sliding around the ring. And as long as they still keep fighting, I don't think they should be stood up. As long as guys are still trying to be aggressive.
Dennis Crossen's in side control. It would be a crime to stand him up.
And it looks like the blood may be coming from Tilley's right nostril, not anywhere on his forehead or his face. It maybe he caught an elbow or something to the nose. Crossen still in control of this on top in the red glove.
But look, you see over the top the left arm of Tilley. It's not in proper position again. If I'm Crossen, my left knee is just going to keep on driving into that body. I'm going to break his ribs if I'm like that, or go for knee on belly.
And what's the way out of this for Tilley?
Tilley needs to get back and stop that crossface. I don't know what he's got here. It's latching him down so he can't move, but you also can't move.
Right.
You've locked both of you guys in place. If I'm Tilley, you need to separate here. Nothing's going to happen until you separate that crossface, and you can then shrimp back to guard. You can then roll into him and then push him off of you, sort of a misdirection play. But until you separate that crossface, you're not going anywhere.
Now Crossen trying with some elbows. And not a lot of action towards the end of round number 2. But I'm going to tell you, first 2 rounds got to go to Crossen. Even though Tilley is a scrapper, and I love to see the 43-year-old guy get up in there, or the 45-year-old guy get up in there and show us some effort.
Well, what I noted before the fight was 36 versus 45. Are they going to have cardio to go the distance? The answer seems to be yes.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit dejected, and of course, a little bit tired, but not so tired that he can't compete. I've seen 22-year-olds headed to a third round much more tired than that.
Let's take a look here at Crossen as he has control of the knees to the ribs. Unbelievable. Look at those. Boom. Unbelievable. Tilley does not want to be here in this spot. Look at that face. Oh, he's just taking knees to the ribs, Luke. It's just, oh, look at the hurt. Crossen obviously in control. Now, here's what you do. We talked about Tilley's corner, and Tilley right now with mouth breathing, open, like you just got, and here's the thing, and you're in the corner, take my mouthpiece out, wash it out, let me get my air.
I can't believe corners don't do that. It's a crime.
That kills me. I don't understand, unless the fighter tells him, I guess, don't take this out, but don't leave my mouthpiece in while I'm sitting down.
When you sit down, it should be the first thing your corner does to you.
Absolutely, you're not helping your fighter, guys. Crossen, Tilley, meet right in the middle of the ring. Crossen in the red gloves, Tilley in the red.
Tilley needs to keep distance. Look, let's see if he has any kind of jab here.
Oh, good right kick. That thing almost buckled him. Crossen in the red gloves, Tilley in the blue gloves. MMA sport versus Disciple MMA out of Myrtle Beach.
Why would you throw a kick against a guy who's been taking you down
all night long? Now we're right back to knee.
Choice.
This guy's going to have some broken ribs before it's over. Trying to use the cage, though, maybe a little bit smarter than earlier than we've seen in some rounds. I just think he's too tall to maybe flip over.
Not bad, but he just didn't get enough extension to his shoulders.
Yeah.
But again, look, if you look, again, I'm just going to keep going back to it. This is why when people talk about jiu-jitsu, they like arm bars, they like heel hooks, they like chokes. That's not, I mean, that is jiu-jitsu, of course, it's a huge part, but really it's more than that. It's the things like a crossface. It's not a celebrated move. Many people don't understand the seriousness of it, but if someone has their bicep on your chin, you're not going anywhere. Now, if he releases it to then throw punches, okay, that's an opening. But the point being is if someone wants to use that to lean it, you can't do anything. So you see white belts sometimes they get in these positions. I'm not saying these guys are white belts. I'm just saying sometimes you see that in jiu-jitsu where a more experienced grappler will get a crossface on them and they're like, what do I do next? I'm like, forget about anything else. Get that crossface off of you and then we'll move to the next step.
And both fighters here in their notes say they both love to grapple. So
I'm sure they do.
Get down on the ground. But if you're Tilley and you're a taller guy, try to do something different.
And the other part about it is they may grapple a certain way when they roll, and then when the strikes start coming, they might have certain defensive sensibilities that come to place that they don't normally see when it's gi or just straight up no-gi.
Absolutely. Crossen in the red gloves. He's in control. He's on top in the white trunks.
But look, people might be saying, oh, this guy's just laying on him. No, he's not.
No, he's
I
working.
want to be clear about this. Crossen is doing an excellent job. Look at the left elbow, stopping the hip, and then he's got a right crossface. Bro, you are stuck.
And then the knees to the ribs. Every 30 seconds, he's throwing a couple of knees to the ribs that are just absolutely crushing him.
Your head and shoulders and your hips are controlled. What do you think is going to happen here? Again, it's not jiu-jitsu control is not magic. It's biomechanics. I'm going to stop your head, your shoulders, and your hip from moving. Good luck trying anything.
Crossen throwing some knees to the ribs, and it's just nonstop. And pretty soon, those start to pay off. And at some point in time, you're going to ask yourself, is this working?
Oh, my man is going to be real sore tomorrow.
Yeah, and you think it's tough to breathe with that mouth guard in. Wait till you can't get any air because your lungs hurt, or you sneeze, or you cough. When you break some ribs, you don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
you
why
don't
are
even
you
want
crying?
to eat.
Oh, I sneezed.
Yeah, I drank some milkshake. I had to suck hard to get the milkshake in the straw. That's what hurts.
Look, Rob Tilley's not, I mean, again, here's the good news for Rob Tilley. He lost this fight, but with a few minor technical adjustments, it can have a major impact on his game. That's the good news.
Absolutely. That's the end of this event this evening. What a great fight between Rob Tilley and Dennis Crossen. Fantastic. When we come back, we will get the call from Chris Fuller. He'll get the cards from the judges from the GCA and let us all know how this ends. It's Ashburn, Virginia, Cagezilla. Stay right there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go for the judges' decision. Judge A scored the fight 30-27, Judge B 30-27, and Judge C 30-25. All three in favor. In the red corner, Dennis Crossen.
Well, there you see it, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Crossen, as like called it earlier. We saw it from the fight. Tilley, though, a lot of heart staying in there the full 3 rounds.
He didn't just, he got beat, he got dominated. The 30-25 scorecard is actually kind of interesting. But, again, it's not like he's so lacking that he can't do anything. With a few minor technical adjustments, he can come back in this cage and he can show people, you know what, I've got skills that will make people suffer.
Right, Tilley on the ground, nothing he could do as Tilley spent most of this fight on his back, and his knees to the ribs were nonstop, just crushing, as you see right here.
And really, Crossen deserves a lot of credit here. Technical jiu-jitsu, covering the hip, covering the head, not letting Tilley do anything from tripping back to guard or anything like that. Great job.
Don't anybody go anywhere. We have more fights coming up right here from Ashburn, Virginia.
We're going to get the action started in just a